What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Merab is once again doubling down on his confidence ahead of his showdown with Petr Yan, making it clear that he's not just coming to outwork Yan, but to knock him out. During his conversation with Brett Okamoto of ESPN MMA, Merab spoke with the same intensity and belief that fans saw before his fight with Cory Sandhagen. Back then, he vowed to finish Sandhagen with strikes, and in the second round, he nearly did, unloading a wild barrage of punches that had Sandhagen hanging on by a thread. It was one of the most aggressive bursts Merab had ever shown in the octagon. And now, just days before stepping into the cage with Yan, that same fire is burning even hotter. Merab explained that this time, he's aiming to make a statement. He said he wants to knock out his next opponent, or at least score a clean TKO. And he believes that with his constant improvements in training, that goal is absolutely within reach. He thanked John Wood and the people around him who continue to push him, reminding everyone that his striking is no longer something he relies on purely from instinct. Instead, he feels sharper, more calculated, and much more disciplined than he was in the early stages of his career. He talked about how, when he first started fighting back in his home country, he would come forward throwing hands with pure aggression, relying on instinct and toughness rather than technique. Now, he says he's much clearer in his approach. He focuses on hitting without getting hit, being precise instead of wild, and applying pressure without leaving unnecessary openings. He believes this new version of Merab is far more dangerous than the scrappy fighter he once was. As he prepares for Yan, Merab's confidence in his improved striking stands out more than ever. He isn't just the relentless wrestler with endless cardio anymore. He believes he has real knockout power and the technique to deliver it. And as he continues to sharpen every area of his game, he insists he's ready to show everyone just how far he's come, making it clear that he's stepping into this fight with the intention of putting Yan out. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Shawn Strickland has stirred things up again after revealing that he turned down a fight with Anthony Hernandez, despite spending months calling for that exact matchup. Strickland is only weeks away from being eligible to return following his suspension from NSAC, a suspension that came after an altercation at a local MMA event. His last appearance in the octagon was at UFC 312, where he lost to Duplessis by unanimous decision. With his layoff nearly over, many expected him to jump at the chance to face Hernandez at UFC 325. Instead, he declined for a reason most fans didn't see coming. In a post shared on social media, Strickland explained that the UFC offered him the fight on the Australia card, but he refused because he doesn't want his comeback bout to take place there. He said he needs 8 to 10 weeks to get back into shape, and admitted he's carrying some extra weight after the long suspension. He also spoke openly about how frustrating the suspension was, mentioning that even though it was rough, he would have made the same decision again in that moment because, according to him, if someone disrespects you publicly, you have to stand your ground. Strickland went on to explain that on a practical level, fighting in Australia just doesn't make sense for him. He brought up the financial side, saying he doesn't have medical insurance and doesn't want to fly overseas for his first fight back, only to lose a large portion of his paycheck to taxes and expenses. Even though he joked that he has love for Australian fans, he made it clear he wants his return booked in the United States, where everything is more manageable for him and his team. After addressing the Australia situation, Strickland shifted gears and started taking shots at khamzat. He criticized the delays in the middleweight division, saying the whole division feels stuck. He mentioned khamzat dealing with Ramadan, then surgery, then possibly facing Nasruddin Imavov much later, only for more delays to follow afterward. Strickland mocked the constant setbacks and said the situation has dragged on so long that the middleweight belt almost feels non-existent to him at this point. He even joked that he'd be better off trying to compete for a 205 title rather than waiting around for clarity in the middleweight picture. In classic Strickland fashion, he delivered all of this with raw honesty, sarcasm, and frustration, making it clear he just wants to fight, stay active, and compete under circumstances that make sense for his career moving forward. Moving on to another news. Tom Aspinall is disappointed with Dana White for his actions and recent comments. Yesterday, we posted a video covering Tom's first full interview with Ariel Helwani since the eye pokes, and things have only gotten more intense. In that interview, Tom addressed the whole faked his injury narrative that was floating around online. He didn't hold back at all, calling anyone who believed he faked it a certified hater. But the conversation didn't stop there. Tom also opened up about his relationship with Dana White, especially after the remarks Dana made at the post-fight presser. According to Tom, he rarely speaks with Dana in general. He explained that he mostly handles business with Hunter Campbell, and that's how things have always been. Even so, he admitted he was disappointed with Dana's comments and the way everything unfolded after the eye poke incident on October 25th. Tom revealed that Dana hasn't reached out to him even once since that night. No text, no DM, nothing. And Tom made it clear that this does bother him, saying he's done a lot for the UFC and expected at least some level of communication or concern. What made it worse for him was seeing Dana publicly give updates downplaying the severity of his eye injury, which Tom says simply isn't true. He said he found it frustrating because the situation is serious and he's dealing with real medical issues, not something made up or exaggerated. Hearing Tom talk about this part of it really highlighted how disconnected things seem between him and Dana. Tom then went on to discuss his return timeline, and unfortunately, it doesn't look good at the moment. As of right now, he has no idea when he'll be able to come back. Multiple doctors have told him he shouldn't train until his eye situation improves, and there's no clear path for that yet. He mentioned the possibility of surgery on both eyes, and even having to get an injection directly into the eyeball soon, something he's definitely not looking forward to. He said he's not cleared to train, not cleared to spar, essentially not cleared to do anything related to fighting. And with the way things are going, there's a real chance we might not see Tom in the octagon until late 2026. That would be a massive blow to the heavyweight division, which is already dealing with plenty of uncertainty. But at the end of the day, none of this is Tom's fault. He's dealing with a serious medical issue, and he's trying to handle it the right way, even if the situation has gotten messy around him. Moving on to another news, Henry Cejudo has once again revealed that his upcoming fight will be his retirement bout. Though, in classic Cejudo fashion, there's still a small asterisk attached to that announcement. Speaking during an interview with MMA Media, ahead of his matchup this weekend against Peyton Talbot, Cejudo said he plans to walk away from the sport once the fight is over. This comes after his previous return from retirement, a comeback that hasn't gone the way he hoped, as he's currently riding a 3-fight losing streak. Despite that skid, he made it clear that he's entering this weekend with full focus, but afterward, he's ready to call it a career. Cejudo explained that this time, he truly feels done with competing. He said, "No, this is it for me, guys. This is it for me," emphasizing that he has accomplished everything he wanted in combat sports since he was just 11 years old, from cutting weight at a young age to winning at the highest levels in wrestling and MMA. He spoke about the satisfaction he feels with everything he's achieved and how he's ready to move on to the next stage of his life. However, he did leave the door slightly cracked open. Cejudo admitted that if Dana White offered him a massive fight, specifically against another top Mexican star, he would consider stepping back into the octagon one more time. He didn't mention Brandon Moreno by name in the clip, but it's clear that Moreno is the matchup he would be most motivated to return for. Still, Cejudo repeated that outside of a huge fight with a fellow Mexican, he has no intention of prolonging his career. He went on to talk about his family being a major factor in the decision. Cejudo said he has kids who want to play with their dad constantly, and after decades of dedication to training, dieting, and competing, he feels it's time to put them first. The grind of fight preparation has taken up most of his life, and now he wants to be present, available, and able to enjoy the moments he feels he has missed. For now, Cejudo says this weekend is the final chapter, and unless the UFC puts something extraordinary in front of him, he's ready to close the book and walk away for good. Moving on to another news. Sean O'Malley recently broke down the upcoming matchup between Merab and Petr Yan, offering a clear and honest warning for Merab as fight night at UFC 3-3 approaches. Speaking with Ariel Helwani, O'Malley explained that while Merab has shown major improvements in his striking, getting too confident on the feet against someone as sharp and technically disciplined as Yan could be a dangerous mistake. O'Malley, who has shared the octagon with both men, highlighted exactly why Yan remains one of the most precise and punishing counterstrikers in the division. He started by pointing out that Merab has been falling in love with his hands more lately. In previous fights, including his performances against Cory Sandhagen and Umar, Merab threw combinations with more freedom than usual, surprising many with how effective and confident he looked. At times, he even came close to scoring knockdowns purely off pressure and volume. But while that aggression works against some opponents, O'Malley stressed that Yan is a completely different challenge. According to him, Yan thrives when opponents get reckless, raise their chin, or exchange in the pocket without discipline. That's exactly where Yan becomes deadly, and O'Malley warned that this matchup could easily swing if Merab starts trading for too long. O'Malley emphasized that Yan's timing, speed, and ability to sit in the pocket make him extremely dangerous. He noted that Yan doesn't need much space to land something clean, and if Merab stays in front of him too confidently, Yan will absolutely capitalize. His counters are crisp, and even though Yan has had a rough patch recently, O'Malley believes the former champion still carries knockout-level precision that demands respect. However, O'Malley also made it clear that Merab has one of the best fight IQs in the entire bantamweight division. He joked that Merab's fight IQ might actually be higher than his regular IQ, but insisted that's exactly what makes him so good inside the cage. Merab usually sticks to smart, high-pressure game plans, relying on his endless cardio, pace, and wrestling, rather than trying to win risky striking battles. O'Malley ultimately leaned toward Merab winning this fight as long as he avoids getting carried away with the striking exchanges. If Merab stays disciplined, uses his pressure, mixes in takedowns, and avoids pocket brawls, O'Malley believes he can overwhelm Yan over the course of the fight. But if Merab decides to stand and trade for too long, that's where Yan's counterstriking could turn the fight around instantly. Moving on to another news, the MMA community is now demanding a major rule change in the UFC, and this conversation really took off after Tom Aspinall proposed a shocking idea. Tom suggested that if a fighter gets fouled with an eye poke, they should be allowed to foul the opponent back with an eye poke of their own, with no repercussions. He explained that in his case, he suffered a double eye gouge, and to make things fair, he should get a free foul in return. He said that if both fighters are dealing with the same impairment, they can restart the fight on equal footing. Tom admitted it would be a tough rule to pull off, but he also pointed out how tough it is to continue fighting when you suddenly lose your eyesight in the middle of a bout. Meanwhile, during a media interview, Henry Cejudo was asked about eye pokes, and his response completely shifted the tone. Henry didn't just talk about the issue. He went off on Dana White, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and the referees, saying they all need to be held accountable. It was clear he was still frustrated after dealing with eye pokes in his last fight. Henry said everyone needs to man up and make real decisions that protect fighters. He pointed out that fighters get warned in the back about rules, but nothing happens when the fouls occur inside the octagon. He argued that if nothing changes, fighters will just start poking each other back because they feel like they have no protection. Henry emphasized that eye pokes aren't just minor fouls. Fighters can lose an eye, suffer permanent damage, or deal with life-changing injuries, and he believes the UFC needs immediate reform to address this. Henry's comments didn't stand alone. Balal Muhammad also spoke up and accused Ian Gary of using eye pokes as a strategy against him during their fight. Balal said that poking an opponent in the eye early in the fight can shift momentum, especially when no points are taken away. He argued that the rules need real punishment behind them because without consequences, fighters will continue exploiting the weakness in the system. He pointed out that as long as eye pokes don't lead to immediate deductions or disqualification, some fighters will use them strategically to gain an advantage. Balal insisted that something needs to change because right now, there's almost no incentive for fighters to stop doing it. With Tom Aspinall proposing an extreme eye-for-an-eye rule, Henry Cejudo demanding accountability from the highest levels of the sport, and Balal Muhammad calling out fighters directly, it's clear the MMA community is fed up. The pressure for a rule change is stronger than ever, and fighters want real solutions before someone suffers an irreversible injury. Moving on to another news. Islam Makhachev's next fight is suddenly being linked to Kamaru Usman after Ali Abdelaziz publicly announced that he plans to campaign for that matchup. Ali, who manages Islam, said that based on everything Usman has accomplished for the company, he believes the former champion deserves a crack at the title. He explained that Usman has always stepped up when needed, even accepting a short-notice fight last November, and that his name value alone makes the matchup meaningful. According to Ali, if you're elected Islam Makhachev and you want to build a legacy, facing someone like Kamaru Usman is the type of fight that strengthens your resume. Ali said, Kamaru Usman has done a lot of things for this company. I will campaign for him to get a title fight. He then questioned what Ian Gary has accomplished over the last few years, emphasizing that Usman remains one of the biggest names in the division. Ali's comments instantly triggered reactions across the MMA community, and fans did not hold back when giving their opinions on who deserves the next shot. Many argued that while they may not be fans of Ian Gary personally, The undefeated contender has earned the opportunity by staying active and picking up wins. One person said, "I don't even like Ian Gary, but it's a no-brainer to give him the title shot." Kamaru is 1-3 in his last 4. Others acknowledged that they respect Ali for supporting his fighter, but insisted that in 2025, nobody wants to see Makhachev versus Usman. Another fan commented that nothing about beating someone 5 years removed from their prime screams legacy for a champion. The criticism continued, with people pointing out that Usman has only 1 win since 2022, and some even further corrected that it's actually 1 win since 2021. Frustration grew as commenters accused Ali of pushing the fight for financial reasons, since he represents both Islam and Usman and would earn more if they competed against each other. One viewer wrote, "You're only trying to pocket extra cash since you manage both fighters," while another added, "Yeah, this clown wants double the money when both his clients fight." As the debate carried on, the fans made their preferences clear. Most want to see either Shavkat or Ian Gary fight for the title next, not Kamaru Usman. They argued that both have been active, both have been winning, and both have done more recently to justify the opportunity. Despite Ali's push, the public sentiment overwhelmingly leans toward giving the next shot to the contenders who've been grinding, not the former champion, who has struggled to rack up wins in the past few years.